What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat! Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Hey everybody, welcome back to What's Your Favorite Scary Movie, the show where I talk to people about their favorite scary movies. Today's guest is Kalisto from the WWE. Hey man!
Hey, ¿qué pasa? Lucha, lucha.
Lucha, lucha.
Man, I'm ready for horror movies. As you can see, I am ready. Estoy listo.
Dude, you're definitely the most prepared guest I've had for talking about horror. This is great.
As soon as I heard that we're going to talk about horror movies, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, what's your experience with the genre? Have you watched it since you were young? Is it something you got into later?
It's funny because I always told my wife this. My favorite movies growing up was Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Child's Play, Beetlejuice. So it's like those creepy movies that I just love. And who knew? I'm fast forwarding real quick.
Yeah.
Who knew that Tom Savini, that the special effects for Friday the 13th did my masks too?
Oh, he did your mask?
Yeah, not this one.
Okay.
But he had my head molded, and it was so cool, like special effects, like in the horror movies and stuff. It was a really awesome experience, and he actually recently made the mask of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and he made the head lantern too, right?
Oh yeah, the head lantern. Yeah, and he worked with Triple H too. He's been working with WWE for quite some time, and I'm amazed at his work. I'm just amazed too, in general, that he did one of my masks. I'm like, oh my god, I used to watch your movies. I'm a big horror fan.
Yeah, a lot of people say they love horror, but not everyone has a giant good guy doll.
Oh man, I love it.
It seems as though one of your favorite horror movies is Child's Play, but that one was already taken by Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
So, with your back against the wall and Child's Play off the table, you picked Friday the 13th as your next favorite horror movie.
Oh yeah, because it's a classic. I mean, I know the very first Friday the 13th, like many people don't understand, don't remember who the original killer was.
Yeah.
Jason! Jason! Jason!
I'm sorry. That's the wrong answer.
It was Mrs. Voorhees. She started it all. She was delusional.
Oh, what monster could have done this?
Because like when I was small, I didn't really understand what's going on. They didn't really show the killer. I didn't really know what was going on.
I also watched them as a kid, and yeah, a lot of stuff just kind of flies over your head when you're watching horror movies as a kid, and you're just like, oh, I remember that person getting stabbed. As an adult now that I'm watching it, I can pay attention to and love things that aren't just the kills, because like, obviously, you know, the kills are great. Kevin Bacon with the arrow through the neck is just so amazing.
Oh man, yeah, Jason, just the hockey mask, the evolution of that too. That's another thing too that brought my attention. Me as a luchador, we transform ourselves into evolution, you know, depending on our stories and our backgrounds and stuff. So the evolution of Jason, and my favorite one, Jason in space.
Oh, Jason X,
he was
yeah.
all buffed up and he was unstoppable. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So imagine from the first movie to that.
Yeah.
That's a big leap, man.
That original Friday the 13th is so crazy to watch back now because you can tell it was so low budget, and I'm not knocking it for that. In fact, I think it's an even higher compliment that it was so successful despite its low budget, because you watch it and you know, there's that early scene where Annie is being driven to the camp by that guy in the truck, and they're having a conversation, and the truck is so loud you can barely hear them. Like the sound quality is so bad.
Come on. There's something you're not telling me.
I didn't even notice that.
There are other like little indicators that, oh yeah, they didn't have a lot of money to work with, but obviously they did something that resonated with so many people that it basically launched the slasher genre. Because even though Halloween came before this, it wasn't until Friday the 13th, I think, that it really blew open into all these imitators, people wanting to be the next Friday the 13th.
Play some hockey?
When she was being chased, when people are being chased, like you can see the camera, kind of like Blair Witch style, you know, like kind of following and run. I'm like, oh, what's going on? She's being killed, and like the camera just stops. She's like, ah.
And I love that those first two deaths in that cold open of the movie, they're not graphic. You know, the one guy gets stabbed in the stomach and the chick just like freeze frames to death. So you're like, oh, maybe this movie isn't going to be that graphic. But then the next one after that, that throat slit, she like looks up and the throat opens up and all the blood comes out. Then Savini's like, here you go. Here's some real nice looking effects.
I love special effects and just like the makeup and everything like that. And I had a long conversation with Tom Savini too, and I went to his house.
Oh, you've been to Tom Savini's house?
Yeah, that's when we were molding the new Kalisto mask for my WrestleMania. And he showed me his stuff, his special effects, and he has so much heads and so much special effects stuff. It's like a whole bunch of scary stuff.
Like a museum of horror.
Like a museum. There you go.
Yeah.
His house looks like a museum. I was trying to search for the words.
Is his house in Pittsburgh or the Pittsburgh area?
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that him and George Romero are both from that area.
And I went to his university too.
Oh, the makeup university?
Yep, that's where I got molded.
Yeah, what was that process like? Because I'm always reading about and hearing about actors who have to undergo that process, but I've never spoken directly with someone about it. So what was that like?
To be honest, I was a little nervous because they were telling me that, all right, everything's going to be covered. We just leave like tiny little holes for your nostrils. I'm like, what about the mouth? Like, no, we kind of have to cover the mouth, this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. So it's just these little tiny holes, and me being claustrophobic, even though I wear a mask, but I still like sometimes just unbuckle just to breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Being a little claustrophobic, it's just like, that made me nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I just hope I can breathe. And it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I was breathing normally. They took care of me really well. The process, it just felt like, it felt like a big weight on my head. Like something was pressuring me like this. I'm like, all right, now that it's dry, it's a little heavy. Now I feel like I can't get out. I want to get out. You know what I mean? So then they start like breaking it and start cutting it. I'm like, oh, just don't get my skin, please. I'm not like nervous and they're cutting it. I'm like, all right, cool. The one they take it off is like a big relief. And then my face appears and the whole head's there. I'm like, wow, that's my head. That's a big process, but fun.
How long did that take?
Like 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was quite a while.
I would love to have my head molded by Tom Savini for sure.
Yeah, man, it's one of my favorites, but also tough because the latex and the mold, it gets heavy on my head. So when I churn, they had to make my tail in the back like a little bit shorter because when I churn, I kept hitting my eye. I'm like, oh, in the ring.
How many masks do you have in general? I imagine a lot.
More than 100. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God.
The masks, for me, they mean so much to me. You know, it has a meaning. When I was talking about Friday the 13th, you know, his mask evolved. So I know he's a killer and all, he's a movie star, but his image changed along with his attitude changed. Everything changed. So the evolution of Friday the 13th from the beginning to the end, you can see, I mean, the different styles that they like.
Yeah.
My personal favorite one was from Jason X because he looks buff and he looks so new. He's like futuristic.
It's been modified. Oh, you think?
And his eyes are bloodshot red. It's so red, kind of like in Power Rangers.
Yeah, he does look a little Power Rangers.
Yeah,
It's great.
Wow.
Your spineless, sniveling attitude leads me to believe you will serve me well.
Let me talk to you about this real quick.
Okay.
Friday the 13th. So as you can see, I'm a big toy collector, and I saw this guy. I just had to get him. Man, this was Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
It's my favorite, Friday the 13th.
Yes. Oh, that kid from Lost Boys. What's his name?
Yeah, Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where I remember seeing him there, just killing Jason. I'm like, oh my God.
It's wild, man. He goes ham
so
on
wild.
Jason.
Oh man. One thing I did not get from the movie, I don't know, see if you can help me out.
Okay.
Is Jason alive or is he dead?
That's a really good question, man. I'm not sure if it's definite because he seems to have drowned that spurred her entire vengeance path and the entire reason for the first movie. But then in the second movie, he's very much alive.
And he's grown up.
So it's like maybe he was mistaken as dead and she thought that he died and he kind of like hid out in the woods. I don't know. In the fourth one, he definitely gets killed when he gets the machete in his head.
Oh, yeah.
But then in the sixth one, he comes back to life as a zombie.
Exactly.
And then the remake kind of fixes it by having him be a kid when his mom dies and he like runs away into the woods and becomes a survivalist kind of deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I forgot about that.
The story could have happened anywhere, dude. That's how they get little kids to shit themselves.
I like that remake. It kind of condenses the whole series into one movie.
Yes, true, very true.
But it sounds like, yeah, you've always been drawn to the makeup effects of kills and everything.
Yeah, how they do stuff, the backgrounds of how they did Exorcist or Freddy Krueger, even Halloween, just the makeup effects and the ideas they get of it. It's amazing. How do they make the killer look very scary? You know what I mean? Especially with the music with Friday the 13th. When I was a kid, I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Oh, you know, that sound, it has a lot to do with it. And also, the movie Friday the 13th gave me a feel of the old version of Carrie. Like, oh, okay, it has that same feel of the Carrie at the very end.
Yeah, with the hand coming out of the grave.
Because I was like, oh no. Same thing when Jason comes out, get over here. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like, one, the music in Friday the 13th by Harry Manfredini was the composer. I think that is a huge reason for why the movie succeeded so well, because it's so memorable and it's so tense. You just feel scared listening to it.
Yep.
And I think that he took a little bit of Psycho and a little bit of Jaws even sometimes. Like early on when Annie's being driven by Mrs. Voorhees, but you don't know it's her yet, and they drive past the road to the camp, and she's like, wasn't that the road? It kind of gets a little bit of Jaws-y in the music there.
Hey, wasn't that the road up for Camp Crystal Lake back there?
And I know that with Carrie, the composer also took a little bit of Psycho, so it's like they're all reaching back towards Psycho, that iconic score, that but making it their own and making it really memorable.
And it's cool, like, how they created Jason. I mean, to me, that was like, oh, this guy looks scary.
Do you mean little swampy boy Jason or like man-sized killer Jason?
Man-sized Jason. Yeah, man. I don't want to see this guy in my nightmares.
He's such an iconic killer. Like, everyone knows who Jason is, whether they watch horror movies or not. It's amazing.
You know what my favorite conversation is?
What?
Between me and my friends that love horror movies. Jason's my favorite. And do you think Jason can beat Michael Myers?
I think Jason could beat Michael Myers.
No way. I believe he's stronger than him.
You think Michael is stronger than Jason?
I think so.
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah, and the fact that we got Freddy vs. Jason is so amazing.
Very.
That movie has its ups and downs, but just the fact that it exists, I think, is such an accomplishment. Because that was way before we had Marvel movies that were mixing characters and you got to see all your favorites together. That was like a fantasy for horror fans. Oh, wouldn't it be cool? Like you were saying, wouldn't it be cool to see Freddy fight Jason? And then it happened.
It happened. Another thing about Freddy vs. Jason, the makeup effects, that scene when he's drowning Jason and he gets super pissed. He's mad. He looks at the girl. He's like, you. Oh, and he just like jumps and then he gets super red. He's like, get over here. His eyes were red and it's just like a different type of makeup effect that I haven't seen from Freddy. I'm like, oh, and his tongue was like a snake. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
If the special effects are so important to you, I am curious if you have one or multiple favorite kills from Friday the 13th, whether it's the first movie or the whole series, because the main show on my YouTube channel is the kill count, where I go through and count up the kills in each movie. So I am intimately familiar with all these kills that have happened, especially Friday the 13th. That was the very first franchise I ever covered. So do you have any favorite kills?
Man, there's a lot of them. When he grabs the girls or the people and they're sleeping bags and he just slams them on the tree. Bam, bam. That's inhumane.
Yeah.
That is insane, man. So that one. There's one in space where the girl's forcefully trying to get off, not to get in the sink. Think like if you touch it or something, it turns you into ice.
Yeah, it's like liquid nitrogen.
Like yeah, there you go, liquid nitrogen. So yeah, trying to force her and then, man, all her face is frozen. Smash her again, half her face. Wow.
Yeah, that is maybe my favorite horror movie kill of all time. It's just so cool.
That's, man, but there's lots more, man. The one Freddy vs. Jason, he's stabbing him in the back and he folds the bed. Oh
yeah, that one's so good.
I have a bad back, but not bad like that. But I mean, every once in a while, I pull my back here and there. But just him being folded the opposite way, I'm like, oh, that is so cringe.
I bet you watch that and are like, I hope that never happens to to me in the ring just like falling wrong or something, you know?
It happened a couple times. Where what do they call it? Scorpion myself.
Oh God.
What's a good one? Good kill for you.
Like I said, I love the nitrogen one, like you said. And, you know, I think the Kevin Bacon arrow one is the best kill from the first movie, but I also really like the axe in the face of Marcy when she's in the bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah, it just looks so good. Just that axe like lodged in her head.
They stopped the camera, they panned away,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden their axe is like all the way lodged in. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, and like it's one of those kills where you maybe remember seeing the axe go into her head, even though you don't. Like you said, they cut away, come back, and it's already in it. But it just looks so good that I love that kill, man.
There's another one too that kind of made me sick. From Jason Goes to Hell. He goes walking towards the door. It's his wife. I think she's driving, and he slams the door in her neck, and her neck goes.
Yeah, the door slam. Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, that's insane.
Yeah, it makes sense that Friday the 13th is such a top movie for you if you're that into like the special effects and everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's because Jason finds unique ways on how to kill people.
Definitely, man.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it gives it away with the game. The game itself has unique ways how to get your prey. You know? So it's very interesting. Even in the game, there's some that I guess he's stepping on the guy's face, or there's one when it's like a big metal iron stick sticks it on the floor, and I guess pushes her head and his head towards the, that one's sick. Whew.
Yeah, I think that's so many people say that Jason is their favorite horror movie killer over Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Leatherface, all these other people. I think a lot of the times that people say that is because of the varied ways that he kills people, because, you know, Leatherface usually gonna kill you with a chainsaw. Michael Myers usually with the knife. Ghostface from Scream, almost always with a knife. But Jason in Friday the 13th, man, he will just find the most random things. Like in the Jason X the Space one, throws a guy on a giant like floor screw and his body just twists around as it falls to the ground. And it's just so fun to see all these creative ways for him to kill people.
Tom Savini did tell me like that he loves doing like special effects like that, and man, I should have asked him like, what made you think of that? Like, how do you create something like that?
Yeah.
And his imagination is all over the place. He gets ideas all the time, he says, and it's just very amazing. Someone that loves what he does and, you know, creates art.
Yeah, and having the ideas is one thing, but then having the ability to make them look real and bring them to life, that's a whole nother thing.
So we built this thing. We tested it over and over and over again with water, you know, for the bleeding. But the idea of somebody getting hit and then sliding on the blade, what a payoff. They were screaming their lungs off. And there's our reward.
So when I talk to people about their favorite horror movies, I like to do a thing where I have them quiz me about those movies. So I understand you've got some trivia questions for me?
Yes, I do. I got one for you.
All right, what you got?
Okay, in the beginning,
yeah,
there was a car driving. What type of car and color was the car driving? Picking up the hitchhiker.
Picking up, picking up Annie on her way to the camp?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you not talking about the big red oil truck that takes her from the diner to it? Are you talking about Mrs. Voorhees' car?
No, she was picked up in the woods. That's
okay, yeah. Okay.
That scene.
I always get in trouble for this on my channel. I think it's a Jeep because it looks like a Jeep to me. It is?
Yes, it's a Jeep.
Okay.
What color?
Color, green?
I'll give you that. Turquoise.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, green. Turquoise.
Awesome.
All right. Let me give another one.
Okay.
Besides Pamela, getting killed, she got killed, right?
Yeah, decapitated.
With what?
Oh, a machete.
What else was killed by that machete in the beginning?
Man, that poor snake.
That
real snake. That poor thing.
Oh man, this is too easy for you. Hold on.
Dude, the pressure's on because I have not gotten a perfect score yet in any of these videos. So fingers crossed I get this right.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'll give you an easy one.
No, don't go easy on me. Don't go easy on me. Yeah.
All right. Oh, easy. Well, for me, because I know the answer. In the beginning of the movie, they were playing a song. What song were they playing?
Okay. Michael, row your boat ashore, hallelujah.
Oh, man!
Yes! Yes!
You are good.
Hallelujah.
Well, you know, like I said, it was the first franchise that I covered on my channel, so it holds a special place in my heart, because without Friday the 13th, I wouldn't have this job. I wouldn't be doing this on YouTube.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, man.
I envy you, man.
Hey, man. Young me envies you, too.
Hey, man, this is fun.
Dude, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about Friday the 13th and just horror movies in general, man. Obviously, you love that.
You know it. You know it, man. I'm ready here. I got my son here. I'm ready to go.
Hey, you know what? When I had my Chucky doll with me for the Liv Morgan interview, she asked me if I named it. Have you named yours?
No. His name is Chucky.
That's what I said. His name is Chucky, man.
I'm not gonna name him Tommy or Pickles or anything. No, Tommy Pickles.
Tommy Pickles, man.
I mean, if I would have named him, I would have named him Tommy Pickles.
Yeah, all right. There you go.
A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do.
I checked out your YouTube channel real briefly before we started. Is that why you use that music? The Klasky Supo
Lucha
music?
Family. Lucha. Yeah. Me and my wife, we're showing the world just our lives and how we have fun. And especially with the whole quarantine, with everything started, you know, it was crazy. We're having fun.
Yeah.
I want to showcase the world what I have, show my Chucky, my love of horror movies, my love of cooking, whatever, man.
Multi-talented
So,
man.
I'm ready. But yeah, Lucha Family, go check it out.
Yeah, I'll send my people over to your channel.
Yeah, please.
Well, thanks so much again for joining me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. When I first found out I was going to talk to you about horror movies, you can see that I got ready.
Well, I wish you a speedy recovery, and I hope to see you back on my TV soon, man.
Thank you so much. Me too. I'm working really hard, and hopefully I can make a good lucha thing.
And for everyone watching, we'll have more of these episodes soon, but in the meantime, be good people. Lucha, lucha.
Lucha, lucha.